My name is John Degelman, and I live here in Woodbury with my wife of 8 years, Catherine. And we have 3 children, Teddy, who's 6, Jack, who's 4, and Tia Lena, baby Lena, is 7 months. So Teddy was born September 8th of 2015, and by all accounts, normal kid. And he is, just happy boy, always had a smile on his face. My mother called him an old soul because he had this very calm demeanor about him. Just look around and smile. And, we would take him out here in Woodbury, and he was born with this tuft of hair that just stood straight up. It was the funniest thing. And, people would comment on what a well-behaved kid he was. He would just sit there. He didn't cry very much, just happy kid. Looking back, when we look at the first 3 or 4 years, 3.5 years of Teddy's life, there was no indication at all, really, that there was anything wrong with his vision. And you tend to Monday morning quarterback that kind of thing, right? And now that we're on 3 kids, we all know you make your mistakes with your first. You don't know what you don't know. But, with Teddy, there were some signs that maybe something was a little off, but there were also signs that we have forgiven ourselves for missing. One of which was, we have great health care here in Woodbury. And, Teddy's doctor would put him through that preliminary eye exam. And Teddy would sit on the other side of the room and look at the chart, and he would be able to tell the shapes. And, he didn't ace them by any means, but there was no indication that anything was really wrong. As a child, when you walked into the room, he would see you come in and he would say, Dada, or Mama. And we have picture after picture after picture, smile, Teddy, say cheese. And he would turn at the camera, look, smile, and say cheese. So when he got flagged, we initially didn't really believe it. We said, no, that can't be. And we took Teddy to an eye care professional here in Woodbury, and he came back as essentially legally blind. His readings are 4.0 in his right eye and 375 in his left. That's legally blind. And we were absolutely blown away. So the reality is when you get that reading for any child, it comes as a bit of a shock. And, it still is to a certain degree. But all of a sudden things started to kind of click. Teddy's vision as it is he can see things, but his world is distorted. When I went in for a recent eye exam, I asked the doctor to show me the world through Teddy's eyes, and they have the ability to do that with those big glasses. And I got emotional because to my son, a doorway like we have here in the house, a sliding glass door, looks like a rhombus, right? Shapes, he doesn't see shapes like we do, right? So even walking through a doorway for him was a massive challenge. And he had a bit of hesitancy, and he still does to this day. He's not very adventurous, he's very calculated, he thinks about something before he does anything physical. And there were some signs that was there as a 2 and a 3-year-old. He didn't walk until he was 17 months. And when he did, he used to walk on his knees because to him, that's what you do when you can't see a level floor. There were just, all of a sudden it was just this great awakening. But if it were not for the Lions Club flagging him at school, he got diagnosed in 2019. So it was the summer of 2019, and then we went right into COVID in 2020. The timing was just unbelievable. And, hearing from the Lions Club, today and even, a year ago that you were having difficulty getting into schools, that really, I shudder to think about that, because what we now know as a family is that 1 in 5 households has a child that has some sort of vision impairment. And, if those aren't caught early, as in our case, there's a chance of severe cognitive misdevelopment or underdevelopment. We saw a little bit of that with Teddy because he didn't crawl at a very early age. Crawling has some functions for toddlers and for babies. They develop gross and fine motor skills. We found out that Teddy was pretty behind with his gross and fine motors. So next thing you know, we're getting therapy from another wonderful organization here in Woodbury, Family Achievement Center, doing OT, right? Cutting, painting, Play-Doh. He to this day lacks strength in his hands because of that underdevelopment. Cognitively, that's the part that really worries me is, the eyes are such a conduit for information for the brain that, if for those kids who aren't lucky like Teddy to get flagged, you really worry about what their futures are going to be like. So we as a family feel like we owe the Woodbury Lions Club a huge debt of gratitude that we really, you can never really repay something like that. Because had Teddy not been flagged at school, we would have gone into the pandemic and another 2 years of him not seeing anyone. So we really feel like we lucked out there. This is actually the first positive report card we've ever seen from the Woodbury Lions Club. Jack, so my youngest son, John Michael, just this week. So this is third week of March, right? And Jackie came home finally. We were like, good boy. That's how you do it. But I was happy to hear that you were allowed back in the schools because, the last time I met with you and the rest of the club, that was right before the baby was born. That was August of last year, and you weren't allowed in the schools. So I understand that part, but that's got to be frustrating, because you do good work, and a lot of families like ours, we don't even know that we need you yet. So that's a really important thing.